This is ERi-TV, dear viewers, coming to you live from the headquarters in the capital, Asmara. I'm Bersabet Takhla, starting with the top stories for today. Press release by the Ministry of Information. Monetary support to families of martyrs continue. 17 soldiers killed as gunmen raid army bases in northern Nigeria. And India and Pakistan defense ministers meet for the first time since border conflict. Press release by the Ministry of Information. In the past few days, the Ethiopian regime has ramped up its diplomatic campaigns, including by sending letters to the UNSG and several heads of state and government to accuse Eritrea of repeated provocations as well as infringements on Ethiopian sovereign and territorial integrity. This transparent ploy aimed at hoodwinking the international community and thereby garnering support for its long-brewing war agenda is akin to the local adage. The sling utters a shrill cry while hitting its prey. The fact of the matter is Ethiopia's ruling Prosperity Party has been recklessly indulging for the last 2 years in uncalled-for pronouncements as well as provocative saber-rattling to acquire, in its own words, Eritrean ports legally if possible and militarily if necessary. The regime has gone beyond the verbal posturing to indulge in weapons purchasing spree as well as myriad acts of subversion. Although these provocative acts constitute grave threats to Eritrea's sovereignty and territorial integrity, as well as regional stability, Eritrea has preferred to show maximum restraint. In the public statement that the GOE issued on 16 October 2023, when the Ethiopian Prime Minister announced his war agenda, Eritrea expressed its dismay on the appalling turn of events, underlined that it will not, as ever, be drawn into such alleys and platforms, and urged all concerned not to be provoked. The Ethiopian regime is today twisting these indelible facts and sequence of events to also accuse Eritrea for infringement on its sovereign and territorial integrity. This is a preposterous lie. As it will be recalled, successive Ethiopian regimes had continued to occupy several Eritrean sovereign lands for almost 2 decades in flagrant breach of international law, the UN Charter and the EEBC Award. Ethiopia's illegal occupation of sovereign Eritrean territories was belatedly rectified, and this was the cardinal reason behind the joint declaration of peace and friendship between Eritrea and Ethiopia signed in Asmara on 9 July 2018. Eritrea remains strictly bound by the EEBC award that Ethiopia had accepted after 2 decades of unwarranted delay. In conclusion, the unnecessary tension emanates from and is predicated on the unlawful ambitions of the Ethiopian regime to acquire the sovereign lands and maritime territory of its neighbor. Ministry of Information, Asmara, 26 June 2025. Proceeding with your local news. In connection with Martyrs' Day, the public and government workers across various regions of the country have extended monetary support to families of martyrs. Accordingly, government workers in the subzones of Shi'ib, Gel-Alo and Nafa, as well as members of the Ministry of Education branch in the northern Red Sea region, the public and affluent individuals contributed over 245,000 Nafa. Of this, over 143,000 Nafa was distributed to families of martyrs, while 36,000 Nafa was provided to families in the Bada administrative area and another 36,000 Nafa to families in the Bardoli administrative area. Government workers in the Shi'ib subzone also extended 30,000 Nafa to 5 families of martyrs. In the Kamhara subzone, 256,890 Nafa contributed by government workers and 189,310 Nafa collected from the public has been dispersed to 18 families of martyrs. Likewise, 99,000 Nafa contributed by members of the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare in the Central Region, owners of Awit buses, and residents of the Eritrean Air Force compound was dispersed to 33 families of martyrs. An amount of 42,240 nafa contributed by government workers in the Orona subzone was distributed to families of martyrs, while residents of the Orona semi-urban center extended financial support to 7 families of martyrs. Government workers, national associations and teachers in the Duarwa subzone also contributed 194,450 nafa in support of martyrs' families. In related news, monetary and material contribution made by the public and government workers in the subzones of Golij, Shambuko, Diga, Tesane and Logo Ansaba were distributed to families of martyrs. The contributions amounted to over 1 million nafa and 430 quintals of grain. Specifically, 470,000 nafa was contributed by residents of the Golij subzone, 108,000 nafa by residents of Shambuko subzone and government workers, 94,000 nafa by the Vegetable Farmers Association in Diga subzone, 140,000 nafa by government workers in the Tesane subzone, and 192,000 nafa by residents and government workers in the Logo Ansaba subzone. All administrative areas of the Golij subzone contributed the 430 quintals of grain. In other news, cataract surgery is being conducted for 700 citizens from across the country at Burhan Aini National Referral Hospital from 23 to 26 June. Nurse Garaz Giher Haile, head of health services at the hospital, stated that cataract surgery has already been performed on 500 patients, with an additional 200 surgeries planned in the coming days. He noted that the program is part of the national plan to conduct cataract surgery for 5,000 patients annually across all regions of the country. Highlighting that cataract surgery was previously carried out in collaboration with foreign experts, Nurse Garaz Giher explained that the current program is being conducted entirely through internal capacity. He also noted that similar surgeries have been recently carried out in the subzones of Afabit, Masawa and Ginda in the northern Red Sea region, as well as in the Asab subzone of the southern Red Sea region. Nurse Garaz Giher further indicated that similar cataract surgeries are planned for next month in the Gashbarka cities of Golij, Barantu and Tesane, with additional surgeries to follow in August in Asmara. And now we'll be back with your international reports and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back. At least 17 Nigerian soldiers were killed in a series of coordinated attacks by armed gunmen on 3 army bases in northern Nigeria. Security sources and local officials confirmed yesterday. The attacks, which took place on Tuesday, targeted forward operating bases in Nigeria State, as well as another base in neighboring Kaduna State. According to security officials, the gunmen engaged their troops in prolonged firefights that lasted several hours. The assailants, commonly referred to as bandits in the region, are part of heavily armed criminal groups known for terrorizing northwestern Nigeria. They have been blamed for frequent abductions, attacks on villages, and assaults on security installations. Nigeria State and much of the Northwest have suffered years of insecurity, with limited state presence and frequent attacks by both criminal gangs and Islamist militants. In today's final report, the defense ministers of India and Pakistan met for the first time since their border conflict last month, with both attending a Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit today, Thursday, June 26. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization Defense Ministers meeting was held in China's coastal city of Qingdao on Wednesday, June 25, and today. Iran's Defense Minister Aziz Nasserzadeh was also in attendance, his first overseas trip since his country's war with Israel started almost 2 weeks ago. The China-led regional body was founded in 2001 and has China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Iran, and Central Asian nations as members. Dear viewers, that was your report in details. Let's have a quick reminder of the top ones for today. Press release by the Ministry of Information. Monetary support to families of martyrs continue. 17 soldiers killed as gunmen raid army bases in northern Nigeria. And India and Pakistan defense ministers meet for the first time since border conflicts. Dear viewers, thanks for watching and have a good one.